Here at New Image Software, we often refer to our contact report module as CRM for PCOs. And what do I mean by that? Well, CRM is an industry term, means contact relationship management, customer relationship management. Basically, it means that it's important to keep track of all your interactions with your customers and your prospects. I used to run a national home inspection company, and I often said that the last person that talks to the customer is the one that can get you fired. So it's very important to be able to keep track of that. We've integrated that into SmartPest so that it's really quite easy to do. And you'll start off to do this with what's called the contact email button here. Create a contact report. And when you do that, you automatically time and date stamp this record. We also transfer over the type of account that it is, but what is the purpose of this contact? So maybe it's a complaint. Wouldn't it be great to be able to go back and pull up all the complaint calls over a certain period of time and be able to analyze how your various technicians are doing? So maybe this issue is a service issue. You need to call tomorrow. So we'll set the follow-up date, and we'll set a priority 1 of this. You can use whatever priorities you want. And then you say who is going to do that follow-up. So you go to the list, and anybody in your organization that's set up can be pulled up to use it. So let's say that I want the follow-up to be done by Rick Balderas. That's really all I need to put there, other than come down here and spoke to Mr. Trevino about the problem with roaches in the storage room. And maybe that's all you need to put, or maybe you need to put a complete description of a conversation. The important thing is that anybody that's going to be following up and reading this when Mr. Trevino calls the next time needs to have access to this data. Sometimes maybe the most important information is the fact that you left message with his voicemail. In other words, you promised to call back, and you did, but if he didn't answer and you didn't leave a message, no one in the company is going to be able to say, well, so-and-so called back, on 12/19, not just called back, but they called back at 7:10 p.m. Or maybe you want to be able to say that we called and left a message with the secretary, or maybe you called and left a message with Maria, or maybe you left a message with the answering service. All of those items are very important, and they become a permanent part of your interaction with that customer, because this record is automatically entered in this area by the last contacts. So here we have an email the last time that we talked, and sure enough, on the 14th, Mr. Trevino brought this issue to someone's attention, and you can go in there and you can read it and see what was promised. So this can save you immensely when it comes to maintaining customer loyalty, customer satisfaction. So that's pretty much all you need to do to create that. Now you can also have a lot of contacts with email. So if I click on the email button, I can create emails about your service and either use my standard emails. Maybe it's a thank you. So it's a thank you for termite treatment. So very easily you can just go in and then sign your name. And just as we're able to do with our contact reports, we can also assign our contact follow-up status, our priority, who's going to do the follow-up. Be sure to select the follow-up action and the follow-up date. It's important to record that information, but it's also important to be able to follow up on those items. So we've built in the ability, if you enter the pending status here, change it to follow-up, that will allow you to have that included in your follow-ups and view things by date. So I click the Find Follow-ups button. Again, it pulls up my list. I can even sort that list from the oldest up to the most current. Obviously, the older things are things that you need to take care of. And over here on the right in red, you can see that we have contact records and we have email. If you're out in the field and a technician, they would only see their own contact follow-ups, whereas in the office, as I'm logged in now, you'll be seeing everybody's. You can also sort by, how many of these were maybe, didn't have a purpose. So that can be followed up on. That can be, say, well, I remember that was a bid request. And then you can sort it down by the technician. Or you can, again, sort it down by your dates. You also have the ability, as you see here, to have mileage attached to these. So if you have a contact report, you can actually enter the start mileage, the end mileage, the total miles that you drove is calculated for you automatically. The number of gallons, if you enter the number of gallons, perhaps while you're going to La Jolla High School, then you can enter that information right on this schedule, and it'll calculate the miles per gallon, and you can actually have a report for all your technicians, some of your technicians, and you can do that over any time period. For more information on how this works with technicians in the field, watch the mobile video on contact reports.